Hello, this is Al with Ginnin Cotton. Had some questions from the last podcast. I wanted to touch base before we started on this one. So a lot of people that were raised here in this area had made a comment that they had never heard the difference or even a differentiation between upland cotton and Pima cotton. So upland cotton is what we gin around this area, what we normally do. There are a few Pima fields that go to gins farther away than here. The Pima is a cotton that is a longer staple, which means the length of the fiber is longer. And so the Pima cotton seed is not necessarily stuck to the lint. And so when they roll out or when they gin Pima cotton, it actually is done in a roller gin, which is going to be similar to that old style washing machine, you know, with the rollers. And that's how the Pima cotton is going to be. Our cotton is upland cotton. It's going to be a little longer, a little shorter staple, but the fiber is directly attached to that seed. So if you ever see any cotton seed that's been ginned around here, it's going to look fuzzy. We call it fuzzy seed. If you see the Pima seed, it's going to almost have a hard husk on it, similar to maybe sunflower seed. But that's one of the things people would ask about, and so I wanted to touch base on that before we got started. So we're going to start walking through the process of what we do and how we do it, and we're going to break it down and slow it down. So when you see the cotton out in the field and you see these large modules, some people call them loaves and some call them bales. The appropriate name for those are modules, the big round ones. And there we also now have the round modules that are made by a John Deere stripper or picker. So the round modules are automatically made on the machine, and the machine drops them off. They wrap them, and then they stack them in groups of 4 if you're going to haul them with a module truck, or they are stacked in larger groups if you're going to haul them on some of these specialty round bale haulers. These modules that we have, the large ones, are going to be 16, 18, 20,000 pounds. We kind of want them to make, we kind of expect for them to make 8 to 12 bales per module. So when you see these modules sitting in the field, you can kind of guess them to be probably a 10 bale average across the board. So what happens is, as the farmer strips that cotton and they're making the large rectangular modules, the module builder pulls off of that, and they may call and say, Al, I have 12 or I have 20 out here that need tarps. One of the services that I provide here is that I will tarp your modules for you. So when you call me and say, I have 12 out here, there's a storm coming, I start getting myself together to try to get your modules covered before that storm hits. Another service that we provide is we pick up the modules from the field and get them here to the gin. So we provide the hauling and we provide the module tarping. Another thing that I provide, as soon as that module's called in to me, I cover the insurance that covers that cotton. So if that cotton catches on fire out in the field and it has been turned into me, it's covered. The farmer is responsible for the deductible on that cotton, but for the most part, I'm covering the insurance, and I'm covering the tarping, and I'm covering the hauling of that cotton to get here. So when you see the trucks going down the road, most gins, that's customary. Not all gins do pay to have the cotton module tarped. On the round modules, it's the same. I do give a tarp credit to the guys that have the round modules, and it is basically the same credit. So for every 4 round modules, we consider that one large module or one rectangular module. And so I pay the customer accordingly, because I look at that so much so as they have tarped that themselves. So we've gotten to the point where it's harvested, we've gotten to the point where it's called in, and so we get to the point where we may have too many on the yard and not able to pick it up immediately. So that cotton may sit there for a little bit. My tarps actually say Pumpkin Center Gin. They're a hot pink. I feel that if you look across a field and you see hot pink tarps, pretty good chance they're coming to Pumpkin Center. So I believe that's a good marketing for us. So these modules are sitting out there, and we have special trucks that we send out called module trucks, and that truck will back up. It's got chains on it, and it's going to back up, and it's going to pick that module up and bring it to the gin. We will store it on the yard until that module comes up, or that group of module comes up to be ginned. I like to, and I prefer to, gin a field at a time. It's better for everybody included. So when I call you and say your field is finished, that means we've ginned your first through your last module on that certain location. So from there, we handle that as we take physical possession. We don't take material ownership. So we take physical possession, but we don't take ownership of that cotton. So we bring it in and we work as maybe a barter system would be the best way to say it. So I'm going to tell you, Farmer Brown, I have a charge, and I'm going to charge you per hundredweight to gin your cotton. So when that module comes across there and it's 20,000 pounds, we're going to charge you for 2,000 pounds at a certain amount. But I'm going to give you a credit for your cotton seed that is worth X amount. So if in fact your cotton seed weighs more and has a better credit than what I charged you to gin that cotton, so if I charge you $5 to gin it and your cotton seed comes out to be $10, then I'm going to give you $5 back, and that is called a seed check. And so all the farmers, that's one of the things they look for. They want to know what their seed check was or if they get something back. If in fact your cotton was terribly dirty or your seed did not weigh enough, we will also charge you. So say you ended up and that module cost, or that bale cost you $25 to gin, and you had $15 worth of cotton seed to offset that in this bartering program, then you still owe me $10 per bale. That's extreme numbers, okay? That's not very normal, but that is the way some of this bartering system works. So in all that, I'm gonna break this down piece by piece because it's too many things to take in at one time. So we'll look at it again. So the farmer strips the cotton, they call me, I send out my tarping crew to tarp it, I automatically cover that cotton under my insurance once it's turned in under my books. If something happens to that cotton in the field, it falls under my insurance. The farmer pays the deductible for that. We've tarped it, we've got it covered in insurance, and when it comes up and ready to have, or we have space on the yard, I bring that cotton here and I scan it in with a barcode. So we give it a permanent number and we scan that barcode into our system. And that number follows that module through the rest of our plant. So I have fiber optic lines run from the gin to the plant. Everything that's scanned out there or done out there is done through the fiber optic lines with a barcode scanner. And so it will come to the office and it downloads and puts all of the bales that happen on that module, so say 10, that came in with that module number, they come in and they make themselves a home within our system that says module number 1 has 10 bales. These are the bale numbers that go with that, and this is how much seed was associated with those 10 bales. And then from there we can accumulate those, and then when my wife pulls that into her system and she pulls that around to say Farmer Brown made this many bales total on that field, Farmer Brown had this many charges on that field, Farmer Brown had this much seed on that field, so therefore we owe Farmer Brown this much money. That's the basis for how we charge and how the stuff works in a gin. So from now, the next time we talk, we'll step on into part of the processing. But it's important to know how this comes to us and how the dance between the gin and the farmer works, because you have a several person dance here. You have the farmer, you have the gin, you have the place where the moats go, you have the module trucks that bring it in, you have the bale trucks that haul those to the warehouse, you have the burr trucks that haul the trash away, you have your seed trucks that haul your seed away. So right here at Pumpkin Center right now, it looks pretty desolate. But once we turn the gin on, we become a mini city, and we have a lot of activity here with lots of trucks and lots of activity. So with people coming in to check their yields and their cotton, a lot of people prefer to not come in. We can send everything via internet now. We can put it online. We can mail it to them. We can email it to them. We can handle all of everything they do on the internet if they choose to do so. So I do need to jump back now, and I'll let you know, for those who haven't watched this before, I do this and I do a giveaway every time I do a podcast. I have hired some girls. If you'll notice, from the last one, I didn't have my microphone going. This time I have the microphone going, so we're making baby steps. But I have hired some girls to help us figure this out to make this more of a realistic, ideal type of podcast. I will draw names of, if you ginned cotton with Pumpkin Center this year, I will draw your name out of a hat, and your name will be removed from the pot, but you will win something. So I'm going to draw right now and see who wins this. This is a Milwaukee M18 2-speed grease gun kit. You have no idea how handy this is, because you can hook that thing right into that grease zerk and pull a trigger, and it will feel that. And so you're not sitting there operating the old crank grease gun. We love these in the gin. This is one of those things that I consider one of our major employees, if you will, because we keep ours hopping. And so I figured, what better gift to give a farmer than some way to grease his tractors and all of his implements. So let's do that right now. Let's see who won this. Okay, so I see who won it. I got it. I'm going to call this man in a little while and let him know. I will not give the names on the podcast just because I don't want to give my customer list out. So I hope you all have enjoyed this. I will make these. I want to do them more often. Jump on. If you have some questions, I tried my best to answer them this time. If you have some questions, most of y'all know my cell phone. Call me, text me, ask me about it, and then I will address it on the next podcast. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us, and have a good day.